This video is not inside your phone. 2 seconds ago, it was sitting in a building you've never heard of. And to reach you, it crossed a city, maybe a continent, possibly the floor of an ocean. Every meter of that journey is private property. Last episode, we tried to buy the whole planet and failed. Today, the people who quietly bought the internet's plumbing instead. Here's the trip one copy of this video just made. Out of a data center, down a fiber line, through a building where networks shake hands, under the sea, at 200,000 kilometers per second, up a beach, across a country, through your street, into your hand. Total distance, possibly 15,000 kilometers. Total time, about a fifth of a second. Somebody owns every single step. This is magnitude. Let's start at the bottom, literally. The internet between continents is not satellites. It's wires. Nearly 700 submarine cable systems, 1.5 million kilometers of them. Enough to reach the moon and back, twice. And they carry about 99% of everything. Your calls, your money, your memes. The sky gets the credit. The seabed does the work. And here's the part nobody believes. Out in the deep, that cable is about as thick as a garden hose. Inside it, strands of glass, thinner than a hair, carrying light. That's the whole trick. The global economy, banks, armies, this video, travels as flashes of light inside a hose lying in the dark at the bottom of the sea. A hose can break, and it does, a couple of 100 times a year. Mostly ship anchors and fishing gear. Occasionally, an earthquake. When it breaks, a repair ship sails out, drags a hook along the seabed, fishes the cable up, and splices glass together on a rolling deck. There are only a few dozen ships on Earth that can do this. The internet stays alive because of a fleet smaller than most navies. Mag has joined one of them. He is not enjoying it. Now, who owns all this? It used to be phone companies. Then, around 2012, something changed. Google, Meta, Microsoft, and Amazon started laying their own. Back then, they used less than 10% of the undersea network. Today, they own or lease roughly half of all undersea bandwidth. Google alone owns about 1 cable in 12. The roads of the internet are becoming company roads. Think about what that means. The same 4 companies that run your apps increasingly own the ocean floor your data crosses to reach them. The store and the road to the store. Same landlord. One layer up sits the backbone, the giant networks that agree to carry everyone's traffic, everywhere, no questions asked. There are tens of thousands of networks on Earth, but at the very core sit only about a dozen of these Tier 1 carriers. A dozen companies most people have never heard of. Lumen, Cogent, Aurelian. If they sneeze, continents buffer. Then there's the layer that turns names into places. When you type an address, Somebody has to know where that actually lives. That somebody is the domain name system, the Internet's phone book, coordinated by a nonprofit called ICANN. And the top of that phone book is 13 root servers. 13. Run by 12 organizations, universities, companies, one arm of the American government, mirrored across 2,000 locations so it can't easily die. The starting point of every web address on Earth is a list maintained by a dozen custodians most people could not name. And where does everything actually live? The cloud, which sounds like weather. It is not weather. It's buildings, colossal, humming, warehouse cathedrals full of servers. Your photos live in a building. Your bank lives in a building. This video lives in several buildings at once, and those buildings, 3 companies, Amazon, Microsoft, and Google, host about 2/3 of the world's cloud. One more company, Cloudflare, stands at the front door of roughly 1 in 5 websites, deciding what traffic gets in. Layer by layer, the numbers keep repeating. A handful here, a dozen there, 4 over there. So MAG has been labeling as we go. The cables, owned. The backbone, owned. The buildings, owned. The front doors, owned. Which leaves exactly one question on his clipboard. Who owns the internet? The thing itself. And this time, the ledger is not blank. It's worse. Every page has a different name on it. Run the journey backwards with me. Your phone. Someone owns the tower. Your street. Someone owns the fiber. The city ring. The national backbone. The landing station on the beach. Owned, owned, owned. The ocean floor, wrapped in glowing wires, and the wires have name tags. Now zoom all the way out. And here's the twist. The internet itself, the thing that makes it one network instead of 80,000 lonely ones, is not on any deed. It's an agreement, a handshake protocol from the 1970s that says, I'll carry yours if you carry mine. Nobody owns the internet. They just own everything it runs on. The public square is real. It's just built entirely on private land. So, who owns the internet? The wires, 4 barons and a dozen carriers. The phone book, 12 custodians. The buildings, 3 landlords. The front door, 1 bouncer. And the thing itself, nobody, which might be the only reason it still works. But here's what's strange. The companies that own the land, the cables, the buildings, even the governments that regulate them, they bought it all with borrowed money. Everyone owes someone. Next time we stack it up, every country on Earth in debt, every country's debt stacked. That's next time on Magnitude.